I love you, Manila, kahit ano ka pa man. Bata, matanda, mabaho, pangit, babae, lalaki, bakla, o tomboy. Halika, blow tayo.
Manila by Night, directed by Ishmael Bernal, is not a story so much as a condition. It doesn't unfold in neat arcs or moral lessons. Instead, it drifts, collides, and lingers, much like the city it inhabits. To watch it is to move through Manila after dark, where private lives surface and the rules of daylight quietly fall apart. The film chronicles the nightlife of Manila through an ensemble of characters, families, associates, lovers, whose conflicts and feuds play out on streets saturated with drugs, prostitution, exhaustion, and desire. Bernal refuses the comfort of a single protagonist. No one here is central enough to explain the city. Instead, Manila emerges through accumulation, overlapping lives, brief encounters, recurring disappointments. Set during the late Marcos era, Manila by Night exists in quiet defiance of the regime's official image of the city, orderly, moral, governable. Bernal shows us the underside of that fantasy. His Manila is restless and crowded, a place where survival requires constant negotiation. Night becomes the film's true setting, not because the city sleeps during the day, but because darkness allows certain truths to surface. What's striking is how unsensational the film is, despite its subject matter. Drugs and prostitution are not staged for shock. They are simply there, part of the city's infrastructure, as ordinary as traffic or rain. Bernal's camera does not moralize. It watches. This refusal to judge is what gives the film its unsettling power. The city is not presented as fallen or corrupt, but as strained, pulled in too many directions at once. The characters move through a web of relationships defined by imbalance. Lovers who hurt one another, families fractured by disappointment, friendships strained by money and ambition. Feuds erupt not because people are cruel, but because they are trapped, by class, by gender, by lack of options. Bernal understands conflict as something structural before it is personal. One of the film's most radical gestures is its treatment of queerness. In a cinema landscape that often marginalized or caricatured queer lives, Manila by Night grants them presence without explanation or apology. Queer characters are neither symbols nor side notes. They are woven into the city's social fabric. Their joy and vulnerability coexist with the same precariousness faced by everyone else. Stylistically, the film mirrors the instability of its world. Scenes bleed into one another. Conversations overlap. The frame is often crowded, refusing to tell us where to look. This looseness is not a lack of control, but a deliberate choice. Bernal rejects the tidy clarity of conventional storytelling because the city itself is untidy. To impose order would be a kind of lie. And yet, despite its harshness, Manila by Night is not devoid of tenderness. Moments of care surface quietly, in shared meals, in hospital corridors, in fleeting acts of solidarity. These moments don't redeem the city, but they keep it from collapsing into despair. Bernal suggests that survival in Manila is collective, improvised, and fragile. The film's history of censorship only sharpens its meaning. Upon release, it was heavily cut and retitled, accused of damaging the nation's image. But what the state found threatening wasn't obscenity, it was visibility. Manila by Night insists on showing what official narratives erase, the emotional and social costs of inequality, repression, and enforced respectability. Watching the film today, its relevance feels almost uncomfortable. The Manila Bernal depicts, crowded, unequal, nocturnal, improvisational, could belong to many global cities now. But the film never abstracts its setting. This is not a metaphorical city. It is Manila, specific and alive, shaped by history and power. Ultimately, Manila by Night is a film about attention. Bernal does not rescue his characters. He does not offer solutions. What he offers instead is presence, a sustained willingness to look at lives that are usually pushed out of frame. And in doing so, he transforms the act of looking into something quietly political. The film ends without resolution, because the city does not resolve. People continue on. Night gives way to morning, and morning promises very little. What lingers is not a message, but a feeling, the sense of having been inside a place that refuses simplification. Manila by Night does not ask us to judge Manila. It asks us to stay with it.